Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to AltaSea. Those of you in the back, come on down to the front and grab a seat. We can't thank our partners enough that are tabling back here today. You're going to have lots of time with them later. We've got a short but exciting program today on Career Development Day at AltaSea. Let's hear it for Career Development Day. All right. That was just to make sure you could hear me. My name is Terry Tamminen. I'm the president and CEO of AltaSea and very excited about today. You'll understand why as we get through the program. But I want to first of all thank our amazing team, this open house organized, led by Robin Aubie. Where's Robin? Give her a great big round of applause. Jenny Crusoe, Michelle Raymond, Walter Flores, the whole team, and of course our volunteers. We could not do this without our ocean ambassadors. Let's hear it for the volunteers. And you can tell who works here by the blue t-shirts or the blue caps, but guess what? You can pretend to work here by buying one of these caps. They make great holiday gifts and they look terrific. So you can be supporting a great cause. Right back there, there's Michelle waving the cap. So you can get some great swag, t-shirts, and all kinds of good stuff. Become a member of AltaSea and support the cause. I want to just start by acknowledging our first responders. It seems like that ship that was on fire last night and is still out there being doused with whatever. So far as I know, nobody was hurt, and that's the main thing. And Tim's telling me that's true. So it would not be true if it wasn't for our amazing first responders, some of whom are here today. LA Police Department Divers Unit, please thank them all. All right, well, let us begin by recognizing the land that we stand on today, the history, the heritage. Let me welcome to the foreground here Tina Calderon, our culture bearer for AltaSea.
Mi hija Wenehink, Netwania Netinor Duno Calderon, Comicra Tangbe, Koi Mixcanacan, Koyo Eme, Koichicana. Awesh Koneha, Ko Avamanete Hovetamet. Good morning, my relatives. I'm Tinor Duno Calderon. I'm Gabrielino Tongva, Ventureño Chumash, Yoeme, and Chicana. I'm happy to be here with all of you today. And in spite of all of many horrible things that are going around in our environment today and in our nation, it's a beautiful day. And I want to thank you all for being here. I was invited to be here today to open with a land acknowledgement. So with that, I want to acknowledge my tribal relatives, past, present, and emerging. We are the original Tarahatam, or peoples of Tovangad. And Tovangad is our word for world, but it's also the world that we knew, our territory. Our territory is quite large. Many people think Tongva is just the LA basin, but we're actually from San Fernando Valley all the way south to Orange County to Newport Beach. Then we go east along the Santa Ana River, which we call Cajopahait, the Long River, to Corona, Riverside, parts of West San Bernardino, and then back along the foothills to the valley. We also held the 4 Southern Channel Islands, so very close to our heart is the one that is still accessible, Bimungna, which is Catalina Island today. So thank you all for being here. I am always giving gratitude to my ancestors who left us with many tribal teachings about how to be good relatives to the earth, to the waters, to the minerals, to the plant relatives and animal relatives, to all of nature, right? Because we know that we are not separate from nature, we are part of it. And what we do to nature, we do to ourselves. So with that, I'm gonna do an ancestor song, and I'm gonna just do it a cappella because I forgot my clapstick. And actually, I think what I'm gonna do today, because we have so many songs, I'm gonna do a gratitude song. Because no matter what is going on around us, we have so much to be grateful for. And the fact that we are still here and we have our health and we have our voices to speak out for those that are in need, we're good. So this one is called Neshuna Weshko. It means my heart is happy. and it's full of gratitude. It thanks our Creator for all the beautiful gifts that we get day in and day out. And it goes, Neshuna Weshko, Neshuna Weshko, Neshun, 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 Neshuna Weshko. Tua anehino te hovemo, tua anehino te hovemo, Neshuna Weshko, Neshuna Weshko, Neshun, 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 Neshuna Weshko. Tua anehino te hovemo, tua anehino te hovemo, Neshuna Weshko, Neshuna Weshko, Neshun, 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 Neshuna Weshko. Tua anehino te hovemo, tua anehino te hovemo, Neshuna Weshko, Neshuna Weshko, Neshun, 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 Neshuna Weshko. Tua anehino te hovemo, tua anehino te hovemo, Neshuna Weshko. Our hearts are happy. Thank you. And my last closing statement is just going to be, now that they want to open the entire Pacific coast to offshore drilling, please be vigilant. Please use your voices. We need to protect Momat, our sacred ocean. So I thank you all for all the works that you are doing, and for all that you're about to learn as well, and continue to be good caretakers for this environment. Thank you. Awesh koneha.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you for that, not only the land acknowledgement, recognizing those who are still with us, ancestors present and emerging, as you said, but also for that note of positivity in a world that can seem very challenging, shall we say. Well, to help us with the challenges and to work together on a more sustainable future, including our more sustainable ports and shipping, I want to welcome to the stage the President and CEO of TRAPAC, one of our great terminal operators here in the port, Cameron Thorpe. Cameron.
Thanks, Terry. Thank you. So, good morning, everyone. Is this going to work? It does work. Okay, good. All right. CEO and President of TRAPAC, but what is TRAPAC? I'm pleased to say that TRAPAC is your friendly neighborhood container terminal. And I mean that sincerely, because we are the closest container terminal to Wilmington. We're one of the only 2 terminals on this side, not on the island. And we've been there for 40 years. We celebrated our 40th anniversary this year. Last year, we handled 1.8 million 20-foot containers, 20-foot equivalents of containers. And we're proud to say that we have the lowest emissions of any of the terminals in the Port of LA. And that ties into some of our core values. Our core values are safety. That's clearly a non-negotiable, and we look at the incident of yesterday evening. It's very important that operators and people working in the port come to their shift and go home safely, and that's a #1 kind of priority for us. Service. The port is a service industry. We're there to facilitate trade, and we have to do that as efficiently and as effectively as possible. And then lastly, sustainability, and that's a little bit of what we'll be talking more about today. So, we put this slide, Portside with Purpose. We're a proud supporter of the innovators of today and of tomorrow. When we do it through the partnerships we've got, both here with AltaSea and with other members of the community, through our technology, and through working alongside the community. But it's important to remember what this port, and not just TRAPAC, but the whole of this port means. What does the port do? Well, it supports 1 in 10 jobs in the Southern California areas, not just local jobs. 38% of longshoremen come from San Pedro, but if you think about 1 in 10 jobs in the whole of SoCal, that's big. And then you take it even further, 2.7 million jobs directly supported by this port basin across this great country. And that means almost a third of containerized volume and containerized business transits in and out through the ports of LA and Long Beach. It's vital to the economy of the US. And that's where we have to be effective and as efficient as possible. And effective, efficient ports means that trade moves smoothly, and that helps the economy grow and helps the economy to run smoothly. There we go. So back to that piece about our sustainability and the drive of the company, that we are the cleanest operating container terminal in the Port of LA. And these are the stats. So, it's not just about greenhouse gases. It's also about air quality. That's vitally important to local residents as well. And tray pack, on average, is around 90% lower, whether it's nitrous oxide, whether it's particulates, or even greenhouse gases themselves, compared to a benchmark of the other port operators. We like to think we're leading the way. We really are a pioneer in that sustainability piece, but this is the first step. Now we've got to take that second step. And we're on the road now to truly having a net zero operation. And that's where we're going to need those innovators that are maybe in this room today to help us accomplish that journey. We've got to get electrified equipment, we've got to get batteries on, we've got to get solar panels, we've got to look at all the operating equipment we've got and work out a way that we can electrify that or make sure that is zero emissions. We've started that journey now, we're on it, we're hoping to complete it within the next 5 to 10 years. And these are some of the outreach programs we've got going on. And especially I want to point out that center video in the middle there. That's the Willenberg Special Education Center. That's the team who's come. They have a robotics program supported by AltaSea. And they came to the terminal on Thursday of this week to look at some of our automated equipment and look at some of the technology that we're using and see what the future holds in terms of career paths for them. Because that's what we're all about. We're here to support AltaSea because we believe in this shared purpose of what this organization is trying to achieve. We want to create problem solvers the next generation. We know some of the challenges, both in the terminal industry or even in the maritime industry in a way to peace. They are challenging. We haven't got solutions to all of those just yet. We need to come up with solutions. I mean, if you look at 90% of the world's trade is covered by sea, well, we've got to find a way to make that sustainable. And that's where we need innovative solutions from the young generation coming through, maybe people in this room today. And we provide careers at TrayPac that tie in directly with that, whether it's in engineering, whether it's people in operations, our health and safety team and the environmental team, IT, of course. IT covers everything these days, in our comms department, and we have student internships. And if you come to TrayPac as an intern, you're not just standing by with a clipboard noting down what somebody else is doing. You are hands-on. You're getting involved. You are actually, every summer we have interns coming to the terminal, and they are actively working alongside our employees, actually getting hands-on with the equipment, understanding how the skills they're learning in the classroom can be transferred to the real world. And it's not just words. We actually have real test cases. These are people who've been through, our team members who've been through our internship program and are now working at TrayPac. We've got Carla, who's running our biggest IT transition program, the biggest program actually I've been involved with in 35 years in the industry. We've got Valerie. Valerie was instrumental in enabling TrayPac to be the first terminal on the West Coast to be part of the Green Marine initiative. Vincent, working alongside our operations teams, making sure we can work the port effectively and efficiently, an integral part of that. And Sol, well, he gets to play with all those bigger pieces of equipment, all the operating machines, the automated equipment, making sure that's working efficiently and making sure we can keep the port running 24/7. So, stay connected, reach out to us, follow us on the various social media opportunities that you have. But circling back to to the robotics program that AltaSea is supporting. Terry, where are you? Oh, there you go. We have a little presentation for you because it's a wonderful program. We see how much the students get out of it, and we like to continue to support that. So with your, we're getting to the center here. With the AltaSea underwater robotics program, we want to support you with this large comedy check of $15,000 to maintain that program. Okay, thank you. It's a wonderful program. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thanks, Terry. It's wonderful. Don't take it outside, you get blown away. It's okay, thanks very much, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much, Cameron, and a great big round of applause for TRAPAC and everything they're doing for jobs, for education, and importantly, for clean trade and commerce here in the Port of Los Angeles. Speaking of the Port of Los Angeles, we are in an amazing district that some of us like to call the 1-5. And I'm going to bring up its council person right now, and he now has another reason to help us because, Tim, I just moved to San Pedro, so I'm going to be one of your voters. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Councilman Tim McOsker.
Thank you so much, Terry. Tim McOsker, Councilman of the 1-5. I do want to say thank you so much for the sung prayer, if I can say so. Our hearts really are full of gladness and Thanksgiving today. A lot of tough things happening in the world. I will be rushing out of here later to get back to the command post to see if I can listen in and help in any way with the ship that's on fire. But we are so grateful that no one was injured last night, and we are grateful for the amazing, heroic response by so many agencies. We are also grateful, and our hearts are full, to see such a gigantic check going to AltaSea. Really, that's really wonderful. I can just picture Jenny walking down the street in the winds, getting blown away, trying to get to the bank as quickly as possible. We're also really grateful because I know that the announcement is being made today that Blue Robotics, our dear friend Rusty Jahanger, and the crew are going to be signing a lease for nearly 50,000 square feet and a 10-year commitment to do research and development and assembly and all the great things that Rusty and Blue Robotics does and their team here at AltaSea. That is another great step forward. It's a fantastic step forward. My heart is full of gratitude for that. Everyone has worked so hard to make sure that this dream comes true, and here we are with this dream coming true and getting more vivid every single day. And Rusty has such a great story. Blue Robotics began over 10 years ago when Rusty and some of his buddies from SC decided that they wanted to send a surfboard to Hawaii. And if I get any of this wrong, don't correct me, because they'll believe me and not you, Rusty. Wanted to send a surfboard to Hawaii, so they've tried to figure out how to get thrusters and propulsion and all the things that you would need to do what a college kid thinks is important, send a surfboard to Hawaii, and they weren't commercially available. You couldn't find a kit to be able to do it. And so that sort of the dream of these young people in college or recently out of college turned into Rusty and his team and his colleagues and the folks that support him coming up with ways to design and manufacture and make available to folks the type of equipment so that you could put together a robot that could go on the water, under the water, and then 10, 12 years later, you have this gigantic success of Blue Robotics that has been doing such a great job in building things and selling things across the world, really, and also doing the important work of tethered and maybe untethered, I'm not sure, robotics under the water to help with all of the things that we need, whether it's investigating the bottom of the ocean or doing safe mechanical equipment or construction in the ocean. I'm not going to try to explain this company, but what I am going to explain is this good lesson for us. Guess how far that surfboard made it to Hawaii? Not very far. That failure turned into great success, and I wish if my failures turned into great success, I probably would be retired on my own island in Greece now. So let's all aspire to be like Rusty and Blue Robotics, and let's thank them very much for leaning in on AltaSea at the Port of Los Angeles. Let's thank the AltaSea team for this great work.
All right, and before we let Rusty talk about what it is that Blue Robotics does in more detail, although I'm sure everything you said, Tim, was 100% right, Rusty and I are going to sign the lease for that 46,000 square feet of these 180,000 square foot, 110-year-old historic warehouses. So he'll be taking a big chunk of that to do all the work he's about to describe. And so Rusty, you and I are going to sign this. It's a fake lease, to be honest. We're going to do the real one on Monday, but just something. So you first.
Here we go.
Keep the souvenir pen. Pen for you.
Thank you.
All right, let's stand here and get a picture. All right. All the success that was, Tim. All right, over to Rusty.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for welcoming us. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our story, how we got here. Maybe you've heard some of that before. Maybe you're familiar with us. Probably most of you are not. So, yeah. Can you raise your hands? How many people here have heard of Blue Robotics before? Okay, good. Like half. Nice. All right. Well, the big news today is we're moving to AltaSea. This is a big deal. I'm going to tell you the story of how we got here, actually. So, I know you can't read this from there. This is a potential sublessee application, and it's dated up here August 11th, 2015. And in there, we said we'd be ready to start in June 2016, 2 to 10 years, and we wrote down the proposed use that we wanted for this space. I'm going to read it to you, actually. I know it's a lot to read in a presentation. Here we go. It says, we're a young marine robotics company developing a number of enabling products for the subsea industry, including electric motors, remotely operated underwater vehicles, and many other products. We launched the company in 2014 and have rapidly grown to providing over 50 products all over the world. We're interested in the space at AltaSea for continued research, development, manufacturing, and testing of our products. We're also very interested in becoming part of the AltaSea community, collaborating with local organizations, and providing educational outreach to a local and global audience. And I think the cool thing here is that we filled this out in 2015, and it's still spot on today. That's exactly what we've grown to do. We're just doing it in a much bigger way today, and very, very excited to be partnered with AltaSea in that. I'm going to show you a quick rendering here. So we're going to be in berth 59, the one back here in between the 58 and 60. We're going to be building out this office structure in there for our team. And a lot of the space will be for manufacturing, production lines. There's going to be all sorts of things to see, especially when students come through and visit the space. It's going to be an inspiring space. We're really, really stoked to be part of AltaSea and to be part of the larger San Pedro community. There's a lot of very cool things going on here, and we're very excited to be part of it. We'll have our headquarters here, assembly lines, fulfillment, R&D efforts, and community engagement. Sorry, clicker's struggling. Yeah, here's another view of that office. We'll have some more pictures of this later, and we've got a space plan here, so we're taking up most of that berth over there. Very cool. So, stepping back, let me tell you how we got to this point. I'm Rusty. I'm the founder and CEO of Blue Robotics. I'm 37 years old. I've lived in Redondo Beach for most of my adult life. And I've got a 3-year-old son and 2 dogs that I love hanging out with. And I grew up in Chicago, actually, but I came to California to go to school at USC. I actually started as a music major, but then ended up with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, a master's degree in aerospace engineering, a minor in software engineering, and a minor in jazz trombone. Got a little diversity in there. I led the USC aerial robotics team for a year. That was kind of a pivotal thing for me. It was aerial drones, but it led into the underwater drone space very well. And then I joined a startup aerospace company that was called Advanced Tactics. They were in El Segundo, and I'll talk about that for a second. It was really formative for me. This was the first thing I built there as an intern. It's a quadcopter helicopter, so it's got 4 propellers. You're probably used to seeing things like that today. There's drones like this, buzzing all around the beach. Well, 15 years ago, they barely existed. There were people prototyping them, and I was one of those people. So I built this thing, and it taught me about robotics. And I spent 4 years at that company, and I actually got a master's degree at the time, but being at the company felt like my master's degree because I learned so much. Had a wild ride there. I just learned a ton, and we ended up building. We had some money for a U.S. Army contract to build a very large quadcopter helicopter, and we ended up building a 4,000-pound gas-powered multi-copter helicopter. Sounded a little louder when it was buzzing around. And this is a picture of me flying it with a remote control airplane controller out in the San Diego desert. We didn't have the proper permits or anything, but we tested it, and I learned a ton. After that, in 2013, we ran out of money. I kept working for a while. I was extremely passionate about making this work, but we just didn't have funding anymore. But I learned some key things there, 2 that really, really helped moving forward. One was that starting a company isn't magic. I kind of got to see it. I was the 3rd employee at that company, so I got to see it from the beginning, and I realized maybe I can do this also. And second, we were building a prototype helicopter, and I realized it's better to be the person selling engines than the person inventing airplanes. Because you look around, there's a bunch of people inventing airplanes. Not very many of them are successful, but they're all using the same engines, and that guy, he knows what he's doing. And so I started tinkering in my garage. This was my garage in Redondo Beach at the time. I bought some tools, started tinkering around, and came up with an idea. In 2013, the idea was, and if I conflict with Tim here, we can go with Tim's version, but why not make a solar-powered surfboard and send it from LA to Hawaii? Just for the hell of it, thought it'd be fun. That's 4,000 kilometers. It would take 2 to 3 months going at like walking pace. And I could find a GPS, a computer, satellite radio, solar panels, a compass, temperature sensor. All these things were like super easy to get. Bought solar panels on eBay. And then I got to the thrusters to propel it. And that's where I just could not find anything. There were like $3,000 options, and I needed 2 of them. So I'm not doing that on like a hobby budget. And there were kids hacking apart bilge pump motors for robotics teams. Nothing in the middle. So I found this really cool market. Whoop. Sorry, when that got converted to PowerPoint, it flipped, but that's the surfboard back in 2014. And as Tim said, it only made it about 50 miles. We did not make it very far, but it's what spurred the company. So we started off with this right here. It's called an underwater thruster. This particular one is, we started with the T100 thruster, and we made it's a basic building block for marine robotics. It's one of the first pieces you'd need building almost anything, any robot to go in the water. Ours was small, it was efficient, it was multi-purpose, it was well documented, it was 10 times cheaper than anything else out there. All things that were very, very useful to anybody who wanted that at the time. And we did a Kickstarter campaign, and believe it or not, sold like $100,000 of underwater thrusters just by themselves to hobbyists and students around the world on Kickstarter. It was way more successful than we thought. It kind of validated the fact that there was an actual market for this and people wanted this. And then since then, we realized once you have thrusters, then you need enclosures, then you need sensors, then you need cables, then you need electronics, and we just kind of followed that down. It was an engineer's dream. There's just product after product that people are asking for that we could figure out how to make them much cheaper. And we ended up with this big product line. We've got about 400 products in our store now. The flagships of that are this remotely operated vehicle here in the middle, and this that's called the Blue ROV2, and then over here is called the Blue Boat. It's a surface vessel, and you can see both of those at our stand back here, and we're going to be doing demos with the Blue ROV2 if you want to check it out. And so we've done quite well with that. I want to tell you a little bit about some of the values that go into our product line. One is we've got a wide variety of use cases. In that picture, there are some robotic swans in a light show that are powered by those thrusters. We make all of our products very modular, very flexible, very accessible, and very affordable so that anybody can use them. We've got middle school students and the top tier marine researchers in the world using the exact same products because they're so versatile. They're integratable with other products, meaning that we can collaborate with other companies and put things together. And we do a lot of open source stuff. So we have open source libraries, we've got community support, we've got an online forum, etc. And we try to be a connector in the industry. So we've got guides and resources online. We hold community events. I'm sure we'll be holding some here in the future. We've held some here in the past. We do a lot of work with STEM education. We sponsor a couple different high school and college robotics competitions. We're running our own educational program as well now. And we've got an online store that just makes it very easy for people to find these products. So I got a bunch of pictures just because I'm sure you're still asking yourself, what are people actually doing with this stuff? And so let me show you some pictures here. This is on a mussel farm. This is a mussel line. You can see an ROV inspecting it here. This is in southern Chile on a salmon aquaculture farm where they use ROVs to inspect the nets and pens. This is the blue boat at a lake in Washington looking for a sunken boat with a sonar. This is a robotics team, college robotics team, that put together their own vehicle with a lot of our components. This is a NASA project to send a robot underneath the ice in the Arctic and look for methane bubbles. Again, here a couple more inspection ROVs out in the field. Oops. This is at Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. This is a completely autonomous robot that is testing algorithms to let it explore a reef on its own and find the most interesting things and spend more time exploring those things. This is what's called a autonomous underwater vehicle. Over here is in an aquaculture net, someone who built a camera out of some of our equipment so they could keep an eye on their fish. This is a company in Scotland that they actually took a surfboard. Theirs was not to cross the ocean, but was to go down an aqueduct and take pictures all along the way and survey a 100-year-old aqueduct. This is a company who is measuring how oil spills disperse in water so that they could better model how an oil spill disaster would spread through the ocean and they could contain it. So they're using a sonar on the ROV looking up and measuring the thickness of the oil as it disperses. Some more NASA researchers in the Arctic, and we've got a whole list of customers. We've sold to 18,000 different people, and we've got a lot of cool people on this list. So 11 years later, we've sold over 140,000 of those thrusters now, over 4,000 ROVs, 700 of those boats, 63,000 orders, 18,000 customers, and we have 77 people on our team, around 50 of them in the LA area. Actually, I have a slide for that. We've got about 50 people here in the LA area. We also have a small satellite office in Victoria, British Columbia. We have some software team members in Florianopolis, Brazil, and a few other people scattered around the world. Plus, we have 60 distributors who are actually spread all around the world, representing our products in different countries. And here's our whole team at a get-together a couple of years ago. So, in terms of what's next, we really love what we're doing, and we're going to do more of that. Like I said, we wrote that application to AltaSea 10 years ago, and it's still exactly true today. And I think we're planning to continue on that course and keep doing more of what we're doing. It's working. I think, especially for the students out here, there's immense opportunity for solutions to ocean problems. Like, it's very, very untapped. There's plenty of problems for everybody and more. And I'm stoked that you're here considering that and looking at those opportunities. And yeah, it feels like even after 11 years, it feels like we're just getting started. So that's all I've got in my presentation here. Yeah, absolutely. Does anybody have any questions? Bruce. So we actually, on the surfboard, we put like this keel on it. So we put a long keel on it, and I filled the keel with lead weight. Sorry, Bruce asked, the surfboard only went 50 miles. Why did it only make it 50 miles? And so we put this big keel on it that was intended that if it flipped over in a storm, the keel would right it and it would flip back over. But in real life, that keel was very, very good at catching kelp floating in the water. I thought we'd just miss it by chance, but when you're out there for long enough, every time we'd have to catch it, and then we'd have to go on a boat and rescue it. So it was 50 miles total over like 3 or 4 trips. Never made it very far. We were learning, though. Good question. Anybody else? Any students out there who are, can you raise your hand if you're a student thinking about blue tech career? Great. Quite lots of questions in the back there. Just kidding. Yes, right here.
Are you partnered with any other tenants here at AltaSea yet?
That's a good question. The question was, are you partnered with any other tenants here at AltaSea? And I'm trying to think of the list of tenants. I think the answer is probably,
Okay.
but I can't confirm that at the moment. We definitely will be. Thank you all very much.
All right, let's get a picture. Let's go center stage here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it, but we've got so much more today. You have all of our partners here from the community behind you that are tabling, have tremendous information, fascinating things to do and see. There's, again, the booth there that is selling these great hats and other swag in support of AltaSea. Jenny?
Yes, I just want to say what a great day this is. I love Blue Robotics, and we have been together for 11 years working on this. And TRAPAC, new partner, but fabulous partner for AltaSea. On the more logistic front, we have our first attempt at a food truck today. So if you're hungry, they're great hamburgers, and I think other things, and very cheap, which I don't know. I think it's like $7.99 or something.
For a whole meal.
But please. Talk to everyone, and I'm so thrilled and grateful. Tina had the right message. Thank you all for being here.
And happy holidays.
No worries. Hello, everyone. My name is Ayana Jones. I am an Education Assistant Fellow here at AltaSea through Long Beach City College. And I would like to welcome you to the first ever Career Day. From now until 1, you can walk around and meet all these different incredible scientists, innovators, and professionals who are shaping the future of the blue economy. You can visit each partner booth, ask questions, scan the QR code in your brochure, and after you complete that, you can get a ticket at our education booth over there and enter our raffle to win an incredible prize. Don't forget to complete the questionnaire, and then you can complete the Career Imagineer too, where you can imagine different ocean careers for yourself and take a selfie. Thank you so much for coming.